What's up, guys? I know there's a VinzTalk, but I just want to come up here and just talk to you guys and just say thank you for 1K subs. I don't know how to really thank you enough. I know for a fact there's going to be a montage of videos and a batch of videos thanking you and pretty much just, really showing at least to every one of my subscribers to show them like how grateful I am. And it's I never thought I would actually hit it under like in 6 months, because this is my second channel that I hit 1K, and pretty much my other channel, due to how it's terminated, and still to this day I struggle to get it back. I basically don't want to focus on that, but I want to focus on this channel. There was this picture I took, and yes, this is me, but this is me like a little younger. But I was this picture was taken from my mom, and we were at Hawaii, and it basically came when like from 2018. And as I was going through a rough breakup, I basically knew I had to get out the city. And I made it here, and as I'm looking into the horizon, and yes, this is the picture of me looking at the horizon, it made me know that there's bigger things out there, because this picture, like when I hit 1K and I was going through the motions of feeling that all this hard work has paid off, I look at this picture and just remind me of those moments of like just looking back but looking forward. And this is what this picture is, and I put a quote under on this Instagram post. I have like the Instagram account. The description below is pretty much linked to of this channel, but I have other Instagram accounts and probably a bunch of accounts actually. But it basically said looking forward instead of looking back, and that's what I did. I if I look back, I wouldn't really actually make videos at all. If anything, I would spend basically wasting my time to actually get my old channel, which was unsuccessful, and I tried, but I didn't dwell on that, and I didn't dwell how I felt and pretty much what I was going through. And that's why I focus on this channel, and I focus on what really matters, the people that matter and the new people that matter. Even though like there's so many of my other family members and other people that I were sub to my other channel, but what can I do? Sometimes you gotta look forward, and you gotta thrive for who you truly are. And because of finding who I am, knowing that I get to start this channel, and pretty much if you can do the same, then you can almost find it easily, probably more than me, because it's because of something that I love, and especially my love for romances, and especially from start to the beginning of this channel, how it's nothing but romances and a little bit of fantasy and a little bit of like action here and there. It's mainly romances because that's what I truly love. It helps me cope, and it helps me basically find more connections with many of humans' hearts, and also just gives me an opportunity to actually have my commentary in a sense of humor that I enjoy. And pretty much that's what I truly enjoy when it comes down to doing what I love to do. It's also in the beginning, when I really think about starting this channel or starting YouTube in general, is finding people, just finding connection, finding a family. And you may say like pretty much like I probably got that inspiration from many other influencers or many other people that runs like kind of like a church almost, and are finding a community of their own. But that's what I try to find this. And basically I don't know, I'm trying not to get emotional, but like you guys are my family. The many people that subscribe from under 1K, and the many people that subscribe after, like you guys are like a family in this channel. And I also want to see in the future this legacy where the subscribers that were so loyal to this channel, not only to be friends, but also to see them take the next generation of what this channel is. Because that's actually also one of my ideas, to know that the people that have been supporting me, I want to see them, also leading to something much more bigger than just Vince Ryder 2.0. there's a part of me where I'm just planning to change the name to just Vince Rider or something interesting. But yeah, this is, it's just amazing that this one worked, and I'm just so happy. So there's a lot of emotions in me that know that I couldn't thank you guys enough, and it's truly just, I don't know, it's a blessing, and I am truly blessed. So thank you guys so much. It's all one love. No matter who you love, it's all one love. Here, from out. Thank you guys. And on to the podcast. What's up, guys? It's your boy, Vince Ryder, and welcome to VinzTalk. And today, we're going to be talking about me, how I'm suffering in heat, and how the heat wave is just getting worse. We're also going to be talking about RTX, Austin, online, RTX at home, Rooster Teeth convention, and their new stuff that is, from Ruby and all the other goods, and also state of play of PlayStation. But yeah, this is VinzTalk. Let's talk about it. Yeah, it's pretty much hot. It's just getting worse. The news and pretty much everything around, especially the location where I'm at, where I'm not really close to the ocean, it is getting worse, and it's kind of dangerous out there. Especially the earthquakes. There's also earthquakes, like very small earthquakes, and I feel like I'm in a safe area to know that these earthquakes doesn't really get to me or anything like that. But it is so scary, so scary. It's so bad, and I guess I have to be more careful out there. I'll be very happy to know that I'm still alive for next week, to know that, this heat doesn't get worse. But as I'm recording this, I just want to say this. Thank you guys for all the support. I'm about to hit 1K. I'm about to hit 1K. I didn't really put that in, of this recap and whenever I start, because that's a new thing. And also this whole VinzTalk thing is a new thing. It actually derived from my content creation of, from Skate with Vince, where I play skate and I talk about, what's going on in my life and stuff like that. So I'm doing this with here, pretty much almost the same thing, except that I don't really talk about skate topics anymore, because I feel like that would be way too much for this kind of like podcast series or just me talking, that kind of deal. So yeah, I just want to thank everyone. Knowing that I hit 1K, this is my second time hitting 1K. I don't know what video to make. I don't know what to make to really go, to really talk about when I do hit 1K. Any suggestions would be nice, that would be good. But yeah, it's just a blessing. It's a blessing. Also, I just want to say I was out there because I had to get out of the city, this location, because of the heat. It's just so bad. And when you're in the red zone of the heat, not at the tier of mask mandates, no, on the red zone of the heat, it can kill you. He strokes up to like 120 degrees out here, and even in Vegas, like it almost reached 130, like the hundreds. I'm talking about the hundreds, even in places that usually don't get summer heat, like Vancouver up in Canada, and also Portland, and also all these other areas that is really up north from where I am. It's crazy how this place where I'm at is more cooler than the locations over there, because that just shows how scary it is. It's like each weather just comes around in each location that is not prepared for this at all. And it just seems like it's getting, scarier and scarier as time goes on, especially with Texas and that cold storm. And now Seattle, being the most rainiest and coldest area in the West, is now the hottest and suffering heat worse than what I'm dealing with here. At least in here, I can actually go to close to the ocean and actually just cool off whenever, it does get hot. I'll just walk to San Francisco, and that's where I can spend the rest of my day. But over there, it's like everywhere, almost like, the heat wave is just getting just worse, and 10 times, especially how not a lot of places there have AC. So yeah, it's just questionable to know that the weather patterns is sort of like in this, very disturbing rate. So I don't know what to really, expect much from that. And yeah, pretty much, I did watch RTX at home, and I did watch a couple of panels here and there, mostly like the Ruby panel and also the Webtoon created content, which actually didn't really talk about much. They did have like, a couple of, voice actors and people that worked on stuff for Rooster Teeth, which was surprising, that I never heard of. And they all of a sudden is involved with Rooster Teeth, and, involved, in pretty much, of course, being part of Webtoon. They probably work with other, corporations out there in terms of animation. But yeah, there's a lot of facts that I didn't know. But of course, I wasn't familiar with these people, you say, and also one of the other artists and voice actors and all that. And I thought they were gonna bring out like influencers or people that are creators in Webtoon, like they're gonna bring Carlos or the creator of Tower of God, maybe, or these other creators, but they didn't. They didn't at all. So that was kind of strange. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that later on in the Toon Talk, because I do have different casts here. I have my game casts, where I talk about, that's what I call it. I have different titles for different topics, just in case if I ever make a video of me doing time lapse and stuff like that, I'm able to talk about it. But in Gamecast, I'm just gonna talk about, like, state of play, and on Two Talk, I'm gonna talk about, the Encantos movie, which is a Colombian animation from Disney, which is cool, and a little bit of Sentai Bubbler. I did put out a review of the video. You can check it out on my channel, and yeah, just pretty much stuff from that is surrounded with Ruby and Webtoon and all that jazz. Also, I just want to give a huge shout to everyone that was at the comments in my last video from the episode of Boyfriends. That video, I actually basically just, in the end of the video, I asked you guys for advice. I asked if you guys can help my boy Stefan that is suffering. He's going through a breakup right now. He's taking a break from online, because I guess it makes sense, because he just couldn't handle the drama. I'm not sure what he means by drama, but if there's something I learned, that when he's in a certain mood that is negative, I step away. I give him space. I already give him space. I was actually planning to hang out with him and we can make videos, and especially how hot it is. I actually want Stefan to get out the house and also come with me to actually hang out in like San Francisco or somewhere cooler, out away from this neighborhood that we're in that is just blazingly hot. But he's taking a break. He's pretty much hasn't posted anything on his Instagram and stuff like that. And I just really hope, he's okay. If he ever needs anything, I told him, like, hey, you can talk to me. And, just me being a good friend of him, because he has been through so many breakups, and it gets to a point where it just tires him out, and it just makes him realize, like, I'm never going to find anyone out there. Now, I can't really relate much to what he's going through in terms of breakup, and especially for me, that I haven't been in the dating game in for the longest time, because I don't really focus on that much. I focus on my college, my career, my dreams of actually, and most of my, projects that I want to work on in the future, and also just other stuff that I wanted to do in my life. But I really never focus on, and it's kind of crazy knowing that I have a huge love for romances, and I just am into that kind of like, aesthetic and romance and all that stuff, that you would think that I would actually find myself a partner, or, someone to love. I do want to raise my own family, and I do want to actually be married, all that, just adult stuff. But it's stuff that, that I don't really think about much at all, especially when I was going through a breakup. That's definitely what I was thinking about, like, how could I get married and stuff like that. And I don't know if that's what, Stefan is going through, but he has been through a breakup where it is pretty messed up, and I want his end of the story. I don't want to share it, as respect for his privacy. But yeah, just big ups to Stefan. Just give him more praise, like, not praise. I mean, just give him a little bit of more enlightenment, I would say, in the comments, not too much, because he just doesn't want much of the attention. But it would be, meaningful to actually know that there's somebody that, is going through, that he's going through, that, because I went through, and that inspired me to actually do what I want to do. I mean, just look at the reads and stuff that a lot of times when I think about my breakups and stuff like that, I tend to, joke about it and all that. And that's the only way I cope. And this whole channel is just me coping of, what I've been through, honestly. And I guess, for Stefan, he copes with music. So, just stuff that I just pretty much that I want to share with a little bit of, what's going on with him, if anyone's, because, a lot of people are, kind of worried, that surprisingly, especially the followers that follow this channel. But yeah, he's doing okay. It's just that he needs a break, and it's his mental health that really needed like a rest, and pretty much the internet, from what I heard of many creators, said that it's a toxic place and it's bad for your mental health. I mean, for me, I understand. I'm pretty much smart enough to know that I'm not gonna fall into that. But there has been moments where my day was ruined because of a comment or something I saw on Twitter. Stuff like that usually. And I understand like it is definitely bad for your mental health, but you know that's the only way to actually that really sum it to. It's just not perfect. But yeah, I just want to bring some light on that. And under that, let's just get into some talk about games. So yeah, State of Play just happened. PlayStation State of Play, and pretty much they showed different trailers. I'm looking forward to that Sifu game, Sifu, which is a karate game, and pretty much whenever you die, you get older, and your age changes basically. Oh, you died at age 48, now you're 50 or something like that, and it looks like a cool game. It reminds me of one of the old school kind of like Jackie Chan movies or old karate movies like stuff for Bruce Lee or Jet Li, and yeah, it just looks very interesting. I'm actually excited to see some gameplays of this. Another one, it's a free game that's on PlayStation at the moment, PlayStation 4, and I think PlayStation 4, but mostly in PlayStation 5, free to play already, or maybe for beta. It's called Arcadegeddon. So this one is the alien game. It's pretty much a shooter, a looter shooter, I think, and it looks cool. Another game that interests me that caught my guard is called Jet the Far Shore. This one is basically it's a sci-fi game. You discover different planets. I really like the aesthetic. I like how it basically reminds me of Astroneer. This game definitely reminds me of Astroneer. Just the aesthetics of it, and also the fact that you're traveling planets, and that visualization that it shows, it does remind me of Astroneer. And I really like how the story and also the visuals of this game looks amazing. Also planet and space travel that this game actually puts out there looks pretty cool. And of course, another one that I actually seen is called Moss, and it's called Moss 2 because there was another game that is pretty much just called Moss, and this one is another sequel to that other series, which is Moss, but now it's called Moss 2, and it's basically you play as a rat that happens to be a knight, and then you discover different puzzles, and you save different characters and stuff like that. Almost, I picture it being like a roguelike puzzle game, and it's mostly, from what I heard, it's a VR game, but it looks amazing. And also, the last but not least, Lost Judgment. This game looks amazing. I've seen it, and I pretty much seen different gameplays and trailers about it before the state of play. But as I look more into it, it looks interesting. It's basically Yakuza 7, if anybody is familiar with that game. This right here, Lost Judgment, it looks nice. I have to say, it basically does have that kind of aesthetic, and especially how it's just based in Japan. It is pretty much recognizable as Yakuza, but it's different. It's called Lost Judgment, and it's a different kind of storyline compared to Yakuza. Who knows? It could be related. I never actually played Yakuza. I never actually heard much about this game other than the mechanics and the gameplay that it brings. So this right here is just something to actually keep an eye on, and probably something that you would definitely spend a lot of time on when you actually do get the game. But it looks amazing. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it for like the state of play. And I kind of really enjoyed, because I thought the last state of play, I thought that was it. And also E3, I guess this is sort of an extra E3 because I was covering big with E3 when I was, during the whole like skate with Vince phase, when I was playing games of skate and trying to talk about it, which ain't easy. But yeah, it just seems like E3 has having a huge, a big extent. And also, yeah, definitely keep an eye for the Game Awards, because I don't know let's just hope that Scary Excel or one of the skate games is going to be in that list. But I don't even know what's going to be Game Awards, in that. And it's still early. It's still early to tell, but it's going to come into the future, and pretty much it could be a big, huge surprise. Next up, we're just going to talk about Toon Talk, We're off the Gamecast, and yeah, let's talk about some different stuff going on in the animation world as I, bring out Toon Talk. So, yeah, I think I put out a topic here of Men of Harem. I just want to say that I noticed that I actually messed up a couple of names, It's not ladle, it's latil. And I said it as ladle, Latil, the main character, the female main character, the overpowered princess, like of authority herself, that I kind of messed up her name and also a bunch of other names and a bunch of other pronunciations. And that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen with a lot of reads, especially ones, if I gotta be honest, ones that I'm not really self-interested in. Because Men of the Harem, there's a lot of people asking, like, really asking like for more Men of the Harem. And I just give it to them, but I really try to, I at first I question myself, do I really want to continue reading Men of Harem? It's a cool webtoon. It's interesting, but it's just I don't know what it is. It has that aesthetic from the Victorian times or something, that royalty. But there's something about it that just I guess turned me off. Maybe it's the politics of this story. Which, if there's any kind of like webtoon out there, I don't want to have any politics about it. But I really try to see something true to the story, but I couldn't. And maybe I have to read more. But man, a lot of people, and also a lot of my comments that I get, really want more of Men of the Harem, and I just can't get into it. I'm sorry, but I guess I have to still read it. But I do want to hear from you guys. What's the better choice? Should I read it? Is it worth it? Because I know for a fact that I did not bring the energy that I wanted when reading Men of the Harem, and especially this new episode video that I released this weekend. So it's just something in my head that I'm just like, was this a good choice? I don't know. But I do want to apologize that I didn't really, pretty much. And also apologize for my honesty, really telling you guys, like, I just didn't enjoy it. I'm sorry, it's not in my top 10. I'm sorry. Maybe if I read more of it, it could be something, but it just doesn't make sense. This was one of the same creators that actually made Your Throne, which is another webtoon that I read, like, in the past. And pretty much I enjoyed it. But compared to this Man of the Harem, there was just a part of me where I need to know what it is that interests me. But so far, nothing has captured me. And maybe it's not my cup of tea. Maybe I could be wrong and I'm still in the beginning chapters. But I just need to know, like, if I do need to read this. And I'm sort of like, I guess I would say desperate to actually ask anybody, like, should I really continue this? I don't know. It feels awkward, but yeah. I just want to bring that up and just get out that, just get out of my chest, letting you guys know, because I am, crucially an honest person, but I also am very, like, very considerate, because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Okay, that's just something in my opinion. So other than that, next up is pretty much Encantos. They have, like, I don't know if I said the name right. If for those that don't know, despite me being in a Latino neighborhood here in California, pretty much, a lot of my neighbors are, Latino, whether it's Mexican or, Caribbean or Colombian, especially with this film from Colombia. I can't speak Spanish. I'm sorry. And it's kind of strange, especially how my name, and also how a lot of my people in my family, because I'm Filipino, that's, you be thinking like we speak in Spanish because of our names. Heck no. Since when I ever speak Spanish? If anything, I can speak a bit Tagalog, actually, better than Spanish. I can even speak a bit more Russian than Spanish, but when it comes to Spanish, I just don't know. And maybe I'm not interested in speaking Spanish. This, again, not my cup of tea, but, I think there's, like, I've been to Latin America and I had some good times in, like, Belize, Mexico, and also Dominican Republic. But I don't know what it is. I always went there without speaking Spanish. Maybe my parents kind of speak better Spanish, but for me, I don't know if I'm saying this name right. Encantos. Look, I don't even know if I said the city near me, San Francisco, clearly. Maybe it's pronounced as San Francisco, or maybe in, like, Los Angeles. I just call it Los Angeles, but some people like pronounce it Los Angeles, something like that. I try to make it fancy, but then it sounds, I don't even know it's the right pronunciation with that way. But yeah, Encantos looks amazing. It's a Colombian, and this is the thing. One thing about what I like about Disney, despite of all the stuff that they're, whether it's like race swapping and all of that stuff, and also politics, like, in that stuff that I don't agree with. But when it comes down to, different diversities in terms of country and authenticity, I love how they stretch that throughout different countries. And I feel like I wish that Funimation or any anime kind of company would do the same in terms of like bringing diversity. Like they always, of course, Funimation anime being something from Japan, but then you got Korean in there, and it's beginning to be in that conversation like, does like why does it always have to be Japan, Korea in terms of animation? And also, especially in the webtoon world, it always has to be Korea, but it makes sense because manhwa. But I'm always happy, and I'm always happy to see more Western and also more diversity in terms of webtoons and anime. This being an anime channel, I always want to see more diversity in terms of that. And I kind of got jealous knowing that, pretty much in Disney, they have it in the bag, even though they have to because maybe someone requested it. But Encantos, when I saw it, I was like, this is something I would definitely see in Colombia. Or me being when I was in Latin America, that's definitely what I see. The people I see there. So this is something that is that representation that is true to the heart, and I really like it. And it's original. It's not really biting any styles or something. It's like not hey, we're making a Sleeping Beauty and it's gonna be in in Colombia, and all and there's no white characters and stuff like that, and you would think Disney would do that, which would be crazy if they did, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did, of course. But it's a good thing that they're making something original, and that's what I always want to see. I want to see original stuff from other countries that haven't been represented rightly, and that's my sense of diversity that I truly want to see. And of course, maybe I might not speak on this, like, maybe in the future things may change and all that, and we may get used to it. But if you know what I mean, you know for a fact that Encantos and also these other animations, especially Raya of the Last Dragon, even though I didn't really like it much, it was okay. But, you know, I really like the representation of Raya and the Last Dragon. I think that's from Disney. And also the other stuff that it brings. But yeah, in Cantos, I saw the trailer and I thought it was going to be set in Mexico. No. I see the characters, I see the flag, and immediately I look at the description of Disney's trailers and I was like, it's in Colombia. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. There is so much beauty in Latino America that needs to be represented. It would just be cool to see that. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm excited. I saw the trailer. I'm hype. But yeah, and also I do want to talk a little bit about Ladybug Miraculous because why not? We got a little bit of like teasers and stuff like that. That is Wishmaker, another episode of Miraculous, and also Rocketeer, 2 episodes that are going to be having, and pretty much we're almost close to the end. And also, of course, I reviewed Sentai Bubbler. I really like how Alia is just beginning to be somewhat better than Ladybug. From the looks of it, it just shows her capability, showing that I really do want to see more of the heroes be represented in this, in this show, in this animation. So it's something big that I'm excited for. And last but not least, Ruby that is surrounding, and a bunch of other stuff that I want to talk about. And one of those is, yeah, Ruby Chibi is part of Neon Konbini, which I something I found out when I was watching episode 1 and 2. And Ruby Chibi is part of Neon Konbini, which Neon Konbini, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Neon Konbini, sorry, my accent, Jersey, that it's surrounded in different types of shows. It kind of reminds me of I forget the name, but Adult Swim used to have these different this one show that shows different shows, or maybe like Comedy Short Shorts or something, Short Shorts, I think on Comedy Central, if anybody's old enough to remember that. It kind of reminds me of that, different animation, different styles, and they put it all in one show. And I guess Ruby Chibi is part of that, which I'm like, how come Ruby Chibi couldn't have its own thing on, like, Rooster Teeth Animation YouTube channel? Like, instead they have to put it somewhere else in Neon Konbini. So there has to be a certain agreement and a certain deal that Neon Konbini actually wanted, to buy maybe Ruby Chibi, I think, and now it's part of its platform. And I could be wrong, but yeah, that's the feeling that I got, I guess. But it's cool. It's cool. It's now part of another series, but it's just questionable. Like, wait, Ruby Chibi, why is it in this? And don't get me wrong. There were some animations in Neon Combini were cool, but I basically came there just for the Ruby Chibi. And I guess it's a smart choice in terms if you want to get the other animations, their old audience and a little bit more shout and a little bit more like room of, showcasing themselves before you watch Ruby Chibi. It's the same thing with Disney whenever they're like for example, Frozen, and all of a sudden, like this other film that was, before it starts, you have to watch this other short film and then you watch the main film that you paid for, that kind of deal, which I never get from Disney. I don't know. There's a lot of certain opinions that I have about Disney, and there's a lot of stuff that I do praise them for. But other than that, Rooster Teeth, Ruby, because that's what we're talking about here, and RTX at home, they announced a new game. And it's called Arrowfield, I think. Arrowland? Oh my goodness! I just noticed that I forgot to put the name of the game here. What is wrong with me? But yeah, there's a new game. It's from the same creators that made Shantae, and it's from WayForward. And also, they teamed up with Rooster Teeth to make this new game that I guess is sort of like this 2D platformer in a way, and it just looks like, I don't know. I have to see the trailer again, but yeah, it's a new game, and I'm not sure what it's gonna be. I guarantee it might be on the Switch because they already have the other Ruby. Why not put the other one in there? But hopefully it's on mobile. Like I remember Shantae, like especially WayForward, they're known for making a batch load of mobile games. So hopefully they put that on, on Apple Arcade. But other than that, yeah, we also got a little sneak peek of Ruby in RTX home, the Ruby panel, that they basically showcased this sneak peek for volume 9. And I've been waiting to talk about this one looks hype and it's kind of dark. You got Neo, the Neapolitano, that happens to just basically try to kill Ruby as she's falling. And this is taking place as the trailer starts. It's taking place, and pretty much you can just watch it. You can just type it, hey, it shows right there. But this one was dark, like, as Ruby's falling, and pretty much Neo and falling, whoever is falling, that falls off to the pit and stuff like that. And I guess you have to watch the whole series, and I don't know if I'm getting the spoilers, but don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil. I'm not gonna tell you why they actually fell. I think that sort of counts. But as they're falling and pretty much falling to another world, not to the death, some people may think of that, but no, it's falling to another world. And Neapolitan is trying to really get back at Ruby, and just the anger you see in her eyes is just sad and surreal. And also, you feel it. You feel that anger. True Neapolitan. And in my case, that's what I like about certain characters that they show that kind of emotion. Maybe it's sometimes it's too much. No, this is just right. That Neo was really putting on. And basically, of course, Ruby then survived, went through, and we saw the island. We saw what the island looks like. We saw the two suns. And yeah, we see Ruby, especially, I'm not sure what she said before landing inside or waking up on the beach. Like, it was, maybe she said, Ruby, Ruby, like, there was a voice. But yeah, we saw the whole beach and everything, and they just she happened to be stranded. I'm not sure where her friends are, and I'm kind of afraid to know that Neapolitan, she definitely fell in there, but where she could be. Like, where can she be when she's also falling into the pit? And what will happen if Neapolitan and also Ruby are going to meet face to face? That's going to be something I'm excited to actually see, yet scared. And also, of course, seeing the whole friends and seeing the truth, especially what happened to their other friend, which I'm not gonna spoil. But yeah, it's a sneak peek of Volume 9, and it's pretty hype, I gotta say. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Hope you subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. I'll see you guys next weekend. Thank you guys for all the love, and thank you guys for all the support. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for 1K. I probably already hit 1K as I'm recording this. I don't know. It just came by so quickly. This whole YouTube thing is so quick. But you know what? I'm an adult. I'm here. And this is what I dreamed of for the longest time. So thank you guys. One love, one peace.